Okay, welcome everyone. I will now entertain a motion from anyone for us to have some fun.
I move that we have some fun.
It has been moved that we have some fun. Are there any seconds?
A second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we have some fun. All in favor say aye.
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 Kidding.
Any opposed say nay. Okay, in the eyes of the Chancellor, in the eyes of the Chancellor, the ayes have it, and the Chancellor recognizes Catherine for our gathering fun activity.
Hello, we're so excited to be here today. Are you excited to be here? This is our last sim before we go to Sim Week. So fun. Well, I thought the gathering activity today that we could do that would be so fun is that we could watch the videos. Would you like to watch the videos?
Sure.
I'm going to turn the time back over to Bonnie to let us see the videos that have been submitted.
Okay, and I'll just tell you guys, we still have some more time for people to submit videos if they are running in the election, and we just wanted to show you the ones that have been submitted so far. So I will share screen and share those videos. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry, just a second more. Almost there. No. Okay, can you guys see the video?
Yeah.
Is it tiny or full screen?
It's close enough to full screen that it doesn't matter.
Okay, perfect. It's not showing up that way on mine, so I just wanted to make sure. And yep, we're gonna start with Denver's interview video. And someone let me know if the audio is not working. Otherwise, we will just keep going.
Okay, no audio.
What are they doing, dude? Wait. Oh,
Oh, they're watching
you're not bro. You don't go
Okay.
on.
I will stop sharing and try sharing again and make sure that I have the audio thing selected. Maybe I'll take out my headphones and see if that helps. Is the audio working now?
No.
No.
Ah! Okay, guys, why is it not working? That wasn't supposed to happen today. Share tab audio is clicked. Select. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. Just a moment.
have Abu for committee chair, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
So working
yeah,
now?
Just had a few questions for you today.
Yes.
Kind of about
Yay!
your ideas for just the future and kind of what your hopes are being elected to this position. And I think the biggest question is, right, how would you use this position to benefit those people that are the ones voting for you?
I think that there is a large population of citizens that don't get rightfully represented, and I really hope that I can be the person that can fully represent them and their communities.
Yeah, absolutely. And how specifically are you planning on representing those communities? Do you have any specific ideas, bills, laws in mind to kind of get that process started and going?
I think part of the thing is I feel like that there won't be a big nature of people writing bills through people outside of the assembly, because as it maybe some people know, that only the people in the assembly can write the bills and actually get them published. And I want to be able to make it so that they have more of a voice in the assembly, even though they're not a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe a bill affecting that, helping them write bills. I think that's a very important thing.
And could you even talk us through some of your action items? Like what's one thing you're really hoping to accomplish directly?
I'm hoping to write a bill that includes more rights for the citizen to affect the assembly. That's something that's not exactly on topic, but I'm also hoping to write a bill that gives us animal characters more rights, because really we don't have anything set in stone for us as individuals.
And obviously, as a monkey yourself, you feel that need to represent those.
Yeah, I mean, there's no law that says that we can't just be eaten. Like, if there's a monkey that's not entirely sentient but could have the potential to be sentient, they could just be eaten and lose that potential. I feel like that we need more laws against that type of thing.
And do you have any personal experiences that are really helping fuel that desire, that kind of kickstarted your own want to go along this path and to
We can't hear it anymore.
Within
Or at least I
every
can't.
time I tried to say.
Did the sound go out for anyone else?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
It went out for a second and then came back.
Oh, it did? Okay, why don't I play again and tell me if it stays out. Now that I have no idea why it would be working and then not working. Let's see if it works again.
Say anything, the story, they never put it in the story when it was actually written down. So I
Yeah,
never
it's
got my
working.
voice in that
Okay,
story
good.
where I felt
Thank
like
you.
I could say so much more. They were just portraying me as some mischievous monkey, and I feel like that's racial profiling, and I'm not entirely on board with that.
Oh no, absolutely. And so to avoid that kind of thing, specifically like that racial profiling, saying, okay, we're going to assume that you're going to act like this because of what you are. Are there any specific action items for that you think you would have to kind of get those people out of the equation, the people that are doing that, and help minimize that specifically?
I see no reason to take anyone out of the equation. That's a big thing. Is I think everybody should be a part of the equation, and I think everyone has a right to have their voice equally heard. As far as action items on top of that, I think there's a lot that I don't have specifics yet for things that I want to do, but that's what I'm hoping, that there are other people in the animal community that would be willing to help pitch in and ideas that they would want. Because while I could have as many ideas as I want, my thing is that I want other people to have a voice, and if I can give that to them, then I've been succeeding.
Is there anything that you would tell those people and those animal characters, to them, a piece of advice, something that you could say they could do in their lives right now to say, you help mitigate this, help avoid this? Like, what could they do in their situations to help with that?
I think the best thing that all of us animal characters who aren't represented can take after animal characters who were represented well, and those people that really stuffed out there, like Puss in Boots is a really big one. he really stepped out there. They really stepped out there, and he did what they needed to do to get their story to be about them and represented well.
So you're saying that these people, even just being out there and being bold and being confident, saying, I'm going to do my best to make sure my voice is heard to the best of my ability, you think that that is something they can do?
Yeah, like I personally will tell you first is that in my story, I never made an effort. I didn't make a strong effort in my story to get my voice out there. And if I had done that, I think I would actually have more. I think I could have been portrayed as a more sentient thing. But the story writes me as a semi-intelligent animal.
Absolutely. And thinking of that, did you have any specific questions for anyone that's going to see this interview to say, do you have any questions for them to say, who is willing to step behind me on this? Do you have any questions to maybe say, what can we do? What can we do as a team to kind of help mitigate this?
Well, I think anybody. I'm really hoping that everybody, not just the people that I'm doing this for, but the people that I'm doing it with, will be able to step behind me and get on board to give everybody the voice that they really need. So even the people that don't necessarily fall into the category of people that don't have a that need their voice out there.
You want those people who have a voice to help use their voice to get the other people's voices out there. You think that helping those ones who are having a tougher time, the people that are already more well established, could be helping those people.
Yeah, and like I said, they don't even have to be people that are animals, like that are not human. I think human characters should also help portray us animal characters in a more, give us more light in stories.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's everything that we have for you today, sir. We are so grateful for you coming on and answering these questions for us. Anything else you'd like to say to just the general public?
Yeah, I really am looking forward to this week that we will be able to spend, and I'm really hoping that I can get you guys to the point where you feel like you're being equally treated amongst everybody else and really getting your voice out there. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, sir, for taking the time to come out and be with us. So thanks so much.
All right. I feel like we want to give a hand to Denver and Cooper and the great job you guys did making your video. And if anyone has any quick comments or questions, we can do that. And then I'm going to be pulling up the next video. Wasn't that awesome? You guys did great. Okay. Okay, next up, we have another interview video. Let me just pull that up. Okay, this is another candidate for committee chair. Okay. Again, let me know if we're having any technical problems. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and watch the video.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry.
So you're running for chair, right?
Yes, I am. In fact,
tell me about that. What does that entail?
Well, we're having to do a lot of preparation work, making sure we know all of the things about our role, and also making sure that we're capable of actively participating in that role. I have, in fact, fulfilled all the requirements so far, and I'm hoping to continue to do so.
Amazing. Speaking of roles, who are you in the fairy tale world?
I am filling the role of Puss in Boots. Lovely to make your acquaintance. I'd tip my hat if it fit on my head.
I mean, there's a feathered hat in the background. Doesn't he wear a feathered hat? In the background.
We have this, but I have headphones on, so it doesn't.
It looks fabulous on you.
Well,
You're gonna be quite the fashion icon if you're elected.
Oh boy, I do hope to be.
Which I assume you will be, obviously. Okay. Oh yeah, so here's one. If you won $1 million from the lottery, what would you do with it?
Oh, that's a hard one.
As Puss in Boots.
Well, I do tend to focus a lot on saving the poor, so probably spend a lot on that.
Charity, it's always good.
And of course, I can't resist a new feather for my hat.
Obviously. Yes. What type of feather would you use? There's like eagles, pigeons, maybe a dove.
Depends on the day. Sometimes the vibes are dove, and sometimes the vibes are flamingo.
Flamingo, that's very extravagant.
Oh yeah, we love extravagance.
What do you plan on basing your character off of? Because I know that some people have like based them off of just certain books or like movies.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I have done a bit of research. I'm going through the old and original fairy tales of Puss in Boots currently.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are planning on watching, of course, the, what are they, DreamWorks movies?
Yep, DreamWorks.
Always love those. They frame me in such a good light.
Such a flamboyant and just overall fantastic animal. Fantastic.
That's one of my dictionary words.
Hey, that's so great. What kind of laws or bills do you want to propose or put into action?
Well, I'd really like to focus some bills on making sure that the other animals and animal types of people are getting the rights and the freedoms that they deserve. I've been speaking with Abu recently, who is running for chair, and we've been talking a lot about proposing more bills specifically about that topic, because our feeling is that he didn't get the representation in his story that was deserved, and we want to change that for the future.
Yeah, I know. I have a great relationship. I have Pascal, right? My little chameleon, and he's great, and he kept me company when I was locked away in the tower. So I definitely agree that animals and animal type people deserve the rights that they need in order to, be around.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's super great.
Those were good questions.
Yeah, pretty great questions.
I'm really good at messing up on purpose. Oh, that is the first thing on the recording.
That's so great. I know. Yes, I'm very fancy right now.
Wait, hold on. I feel the need to
I don't have a hat.
This is my Puss in Boots hat.
What is your favorite snack?
My favorite snack? That's a hard one. Snacks are really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the questions I have?
I really like Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its are awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is a really fun part. I think it should go in your campaign.
I mean, I'm not really running for anything.
But you should be. I'm going to say the wildest things no matter what you ask me. Right now?
I don't prepare whatsoever for this. It's okay, I can wing it. I'm very good at that.
M'lady.
Oh yeah.
Claire, what's it gonna be like if we're in the two different things? Like we're rival.
I'm gonna win, and I'm just gonna be the best, and I'm gonna beat you as a media team.
Yeah, but.
Yay! Yay for Claire and Finn. Wasn't that awesome? I loved that they added a blooper reel. That's the best. Okay, let me pull up the next one. Okay, hold on, that's not working. Why isn't that working? Hey, no, Noelle, are you there?
Yeah.
Your video is not pulling up on mine in the tab that I can share. Do you want to pull it up on yours and you can share screen?
I'd rather not. I can probably figure it out.
Okay, come help me. Well, I need to keep showing videos. I will move on to Finn's campaign video and we'll try and get Noelle's figured out too. Okay. So Finn also made a campaign video with her media team. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love it. At least I love it. Okay, that's working. Okay.
No, I'm saving your life. Stop trying to die.
You want someone like you to represent you. You want someone who will fight for you. You want someone who will rush to your aid. You want Finn.
Finn's also open to the role of Clark or Supreme Overlord. No Finns, raccoons, or children were harmed in making this video. Finn stands for what you believe. If you believe in what Finn stands for, don't hesitate. Vote for Finn now. Restrictions do not apply. Probably maybe.
Yay, Finn! Love it. Okay, while Noelle and I are trying to solve our momentary technical difficulties, can you guys just share some comments on what you thought of the videos? And Catherine, can I just kind of turn it over to you for a minute and I'll try and figure this problem out real quick?
I would just like to open the discussion that I feel like the only thing anybody ever talks about is how animals are misrepresented. While this is an important thing, it's not the only thing we're going to speak for.
If you consider that both of the videos were submitted by animals.
Yeah, seeing how the only characters that submitted any videos
but
or animal
the ones who are
characters.
having a deal to make bills on animal rights.
Maybe you should have made a video and then you could start talking about it.
Okay, who was talking just now? Sorry.
3 people.
Yeah.
All
Who made the comment about people only making animals videos?
Zarin.
Aaron. Okay, what's your characters, Aaron?
I forgot his name.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
some guy's name. Really complicated.
That's all right. You can start working.
Give me a second.
You can start working now on some builds to
Rumpelstiltskin, that's his name.
Oh, good. Okay. You can start working on some builds to manage things that are happening in your realm. Or at least coming up with ideas so that they can do it at the sim.
This is my character speaking. I could not care what happens in my realm.
So does anyone have any comments on what the videos were so far? I thought everyone did a great job with their videos. Very fun.
I'd like to comment on my video. I know I already said it, but I'm sorry it was so long.
It was great, Denver.
Cooper wrote down
All
one
of them
question,
were.
and that lasted us for 7 minutes. So I don't know.
No, it's okay. And those who haven't made videos, this is an opportunity today to see what some of the videos look like, so that you can. And we've extended the deadline for turning them in till Wednesday, and then they'll still be sent out for people to see. So that if you want to make a video now with some idea, the whole idea behind all of the things we're doing here at the Sim and in the pre-Sim workshops is teaching you how to do things so that you can do them and gain confidence. So we want every person who's participating in any way to participate at the highest level that you can to participate and develop confidence. And we're all here to support you and to help you succeed. And obviously the Sim simulates real life. So we want to give you opportunities to do things that people do in real life in a safe way, in a community where people care about you and are here for your success. So I just want everyone to feel supported and cared about and appreciated for the effort that they've put forth. And I would like for all of us to, in the best way that we can in playing our characters, do that for one another. So how's it coming, Bonnie, with the...
I think we got the technical difficulty worked out. So thank you for that. And
Perfect.
I can go ahead and share.
Good evening. I'm Little Bo Peep, and today I will be interviewing Princess Anadori. What are you running for in the assembly?
I'm running for clerk.
And do you have any bills that you're going to try and pass on the floor?
Yes, actually, I am running a bill.
Can you give some information about that?
Yeah, so the purpose of my bill is to regulate arranged marriages without the input or the consent of the people who are going to be married.
How does this pertain to your life?
Okay, so well, I was born the crown princess, and I made it my life mission to be worthy of being the queen after my mother. And without my knowing, she arranged the marriage to the prince next door. And I found out soon after my father died, and I felt like horrible, like my life's purpose was like taken away from me. And I knew it was super hard. And I don't want other people to have to go through that. Luckily for me, it turned out well. I fell in love with the person I was betrothed to, and that was
Have
nice,
you married
but-
him yet?
Yes, I have. So it turned out well in the end for me, but I don't want others to have to go through that.
And how does this bill affect other people's lives and like what they'll be moving forward in?
Okay, so well, it does because there are going to be those who there are going to be parents. If this bill doesn't pass, there's going to be parents who will arrange marriages, and some people might be like stuck with somebody they don't love, or even a creep. Like honestly, and I don't want anybody else to have to go through the feeling that I had of my life. First of all, my life's purpose was taken away, and second of all, I might marry someone who I don't know, and that just doesn't. And I don't want anybody to have to be married to someone they don't know and have that be their lifelong companion.
So basically, long story short, this bill is so that you don't have to marry somebody random. You can actually fall in love with them. What is the role of a clerk in the assembly?
Okay, so it's sort of like a secretary role. I have three main responsibilities. They are managing the hopper, introducing bills to the floor, to the assembly, and taking roll call votes.
Okay, what is the hopper?
Okay, so the hopper, it's this basket, and when you write a bill, you're gonna like write it, and then put it in the hopper, and I'm supposed to write numbers, number the bills, to keep them more organized, and I will take it from there.
And what does managing the hopper entail?
Yeah, so like I was saying, it's just numbering the bills, so that we can keep it more organized, and just making sure things are organized.
You mentioned talking about your responsibilities as a clerk, that taking roll call votes are occasionally necessary. Why are they necessary and why only occasionally?
Okay, so taking a roll call vote, so in the assembly, we just do it by voice. And so the chancellor or the committee chair is supposed to just try to discern by voice. But sometimes we aren't sure. It isn't, like, it's kind of even. And so we don't have a very good distinction between which has the more votes. And so what I do then is I just go through and ask each individual person, and then I like ask him so we can get a more precise and exact vote. And so then I just tally it up from there.
And what drew you to the clerk instead of all the other options?
Well, I wanted to have an important role in the assembly, but I didn't want to be right in the spotlight. So clerk was just the perfect job for that.
And what makes you think that you'll be a better candidate than anyone else?
Well, okay, first of all, I have the desire where nobody else wanted to, so I would put more into it. And second of all, I have had experience through our preparation workshops.
Thank you, Princess Anadori, for letting me interview you. Good evening.
Yay to Noelle and Zoe. Good job on your video too. Okay, does anyone else have any other questions or comments about campaign videos or bill videos or interview videos? Any other questions? I have a question for you. Do you have to be running in the election to make a video with someone on the media team?
No.
No. Good answer. Anybody can submit a video. The media teams are hopefully trying to get them in by tomorrow. So they're running a little low on time, but if you are interested in making a video or working with somebody else from Yes Week to make a video and you need to have any help with that or with finding and connecting with people, just let us know, because that can still happen. And as Catherine mentioned, if you are running, you have until Wednesday to submit a video to get it sent out along with the ballots. Okay, so I will now entertain a motion to discuss follow-up assignments and any other announcements. If anyone wants to make that motion.
I move that we discuss follow-up assignments.
Thanks, Denver. Are there any seconds?
I second.
Sorry, Bonnie, could I just briefly
Please.
interrupt? Is there anyone who just wanted to speak about running who hasn't made a video yet, but would just like to say something on the call?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'd like to.
Great. Go ahead, Sophie.
Okay. Well, hi. I'm Anna from Moonhaven. And I'm running for committee chair. So that I can bring peace and order to the realms, and I want to restore confidence to the people and animals of all the realms. So yeah, vote Anna for committee chair.
Yay, that's awesome. Thanks, Sophie. Yeah, Izzy, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Anastasia Tremaine, and I'm running for chancellor. And I think that I should be elected as chancellor because I'm the only person willing to put in the work of being chancellor. Ready?
Yay, thank you, Izzy. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay, great. Then we will move back to our motion. And I'm just going to put in a little reminder that if you are committee chair or chancellor in the assembly and it's time for somebody to make a motion and nobody's making the motion, you can kind of spoon feed, as I have done today. You just say, I will entertain a motion to do this. And they don't have to make that motion, but that is something that is in the chancellor and committee chair's role. If it's clearly time for a vote, you can say, I will entertain a motion to vote, because you don't get to make the motion, but you can basically tell people this is the motion that we need to make now. And that works. Okay, so it has been moved and seconded that we discuss follow-up assignments and announcements. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. In the eyes of the chancellor, this motion passes. So we will now discuss follow-up assignments, announcements. We already talked about videos. So the ballots are going to come out on Wednesday. The ballots for the election are going out to everyone who has registered for Yes Week, not just members of the assembly or people who have attended workshops, but everyone who has registered can vote. So we're going to send that out Wednesday, and then the election closes on Saturday. So it will come via email along with any more videos, the 4 videos that were already submitted and any other videos that are submitted. please vote once you see that email on that ballot. Vote, and it will have instructions about how many you can vote for and that kind of thing. But please vote sometime between Wednesday and Saturday to participate in the election. And then the results, I talked way back at our first workshop about having a kind of a celebration video to announce the winners. I think we're going to end up just making that a celebration email. I now have plans for when we were going to, jump on another Zoom call for that. So we will just go ahead and send out an email after Saturday night when the election closes with the election results. And then from there, the chancellor and the committee chairs that get elected, if you guys want to prepare any more or if you need any more help, you can just reach out to the mentors to help you finish your preparations before Yes Week. Does anyone have any questions about the election? Joy.
So we just saw a few videos, and it seems like there were a few others that were planning on running. Do we have, so are they still running even though we didn't see videos today?
For the most part, everyone that we have talked about running before, we are still sure is planning to run. So I'll just briefly mention running for chancellor is Isabel Taylor. She just shared her little bit. She's the only one running for chancellor. So, vote for Izzy. And then we have either 5 or 6 people running for committee chair. I'm not sure about one. So Denver, who you saw, and Finn, who you saw in their videos, and then Alyssa and Hiram, and I'm on the spot right now, and Sophie. They are for sure running for committee chair. Clark Morgan, I'm still trying to find out if he is running or not. He expressed some interest, but I need to confirm with him. So those are the people we need more committee chairs, more than one. So you're going to be able to vote for multiple committee chairs. And then at Yes Week, we will have the elections for the clerk and the sergeant at arms on the first day of Yes Week. So running for clerk is Noelle, and you saw in her video, or Princess Annie Dory. And running for sergeant at arms is Amy, who is going to be Mulan. So as of right now, those are the ones who have mentioned interest in running for those positions. So just remember, we have the ballot this week for chancellor and committee chairs, and then the election for clerk and sergeant at arms will happen at Yes Week. Good question. Any other questions about elections? Okay. At this point, if you would like to stay on, you are welcome to. If you need to go or want to go, that's fine. But last week, remember, we did a practice session where we were writing our bills and we ran them through committee and passed some of the bills and killed some of the bills. And we're going to stay on and do a practice about the assembly floor. So of the assembly debate with the bills that got passed through committee last week. So you're welcome to stay and join that. One thing that I forgot to mention real quick before we get to that, though, is that we mentors have talked about it, and we feel like there's maybe a little bit more practice that some of the assembly members would like to have on making motions. I did prepare some resources that you guys are going to be able to have at Yes Week, and I just want you guys to know Nicholas is going to be doing a training at Yes Week where you go over all those motions, and he will have the resources so that you'll be able to use them. So if you feel like, yeah, we went over stuff, but I still don't really know what to do, you're going to have more help with that, and you can always ask questions along the way. And my hunch is, even if you're feeling like, I still don't know what's going to go on, by, middle of day 1 or day 2, you guys are going to be pros at this. So I just wanted to reassure you that there's going to be plenty of help still coming. And so today, all we have left for our last assembly is to just practice one more time debating bills on the assembly floor. And more training will come later. Okay, so any other thoughts or questions before we move on to the assembly floor? Then Izzy, can I turn the gavel over to you?
No, I actually have to go because I have
Okay.
basic business. So
That's totally fine. Then I will continue acting as Chancellor Pro Tempore for this next part for today. So can we have the clerk please remind us of the bills that we can choose from for our debate on the floor today?
Okay, so we have Bill 2, an act to create building codes and regulations to protect citizens from unsafe circumstances. We have Bill 5, an act to enable certified people to remove children from poor living conditions. And Bill 6, an act to allow temporary captivity.
Okay, so we will go over the bill that is chosen more specifically before we debate, but I will now entertain a motion to propose which bill to debate on the floor, Bill 2, 5, or 6.
I move we discuss Bill 2.
It has been moved that we discuss and debate Bill 2. Are there any seconds?
I second.
Would anyone like to speak in opposition to this motion? Not necessarily in opposition to the bill, but in opposition to discussing the bill. Okay, seeing no opposition, all in favor of discussing and debating Bill 2, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yay.
Say nay. Okay, in the eyes of the Chancellor, the ayes have it. We will discuss Bill 2. Would the clerk please read again for us Bill 2 so that it's fresh in our minds and we can be thinking while we listen about what we want to say to debate Bill 2.
Okay. An act to create building codes and regulations to protect citizens from unsafe structures. Whereas in the past years, many incidents have occurred relating to poor construction of homes. Some of these include homes made out of straw and candy, which are prone to damage of the weather, big bad wolves, and hungry children. For example, 2 of the 3 little pigs who built their homes purely out of straw and sticks lost their homes to the big bad wolf, who blew them down. Had they built their homes out of the proper materials and technique, this would not have happened. Be it enacted by the Everwood Alliance Assembly, each home is to have a solid foundation that provides strong stability, is to be built with non-perishable material that is capable of protecting from threats such as water, wind, hail, snow, heat, sunlight, falling skies, freezing temperatures, and big bad wolves. Homes are also to be declared reasonably safe from all such threats by a licensed authority before the selling, purchasing, or inhabiting thereof. Such licenses are to be distributed by 3 or more members of the Assembly to those who pass a standard knowledge test. Therefore, be it enacted that the aforementioned license may only be given to those who pass a standard knowledge test issued by 3 or more assemblymen. One of the assemblymen must be of the same realm as the citizen seeking to obtain a license. This knowledge test must include questions that ensure the citizen understands the necessary conditions of a safe house. Each license is valid for the period of 30 days. Therefore, be it further enacted that upon the passing of this bill, each house built or created from 5 days after the passing thereof must be approved under these standards and receive the approval of a licensed home authority before they are to be sold or inhabited. Therefore, be it further enacted that if houses are built and sold or inhabited without meeting these standards, they will be formally yoinked by the government. Therefore, be it further enacted that upon the passing of the bill, it will be put into effect throughout the Everwood Alliance after a brief period of 5 days.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone who would like to speak and lead in favor of this bill?
I can speak in favor of this bill.
Would you like to manage the time for those speaking in favor?
Can I say no?
I mean, yeah, you could say no. If you're going to say no, then I need somebody that's going to say yes to that question to be the first one to speak on it, and then you would have to ask them for time. You just get more control if you're the time manager.
I would rather not control the time.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to control the time for the side speaking in favor of this bill?
Sure.
Thank you, Zarin. Okay, then we are going to give 5 minutes to your side to discuss and to speak in favor of the bill, and you may speak first. And if you want to, you can start by saying, I yield myself as much time as I consume.
I say that?
Yep.
I yield myself as much time as I consume.
And then now speak until you are done speaking, and then say, I reserve the balance of my time.
I don't know what to say. I just said, sure, I'll take the time because nobody else was saying it.
Then you can say, you could yield time to Amy right off the bat if you would like to.
Amy, I yield time to you.
Cool. What do I say, Mom?
Whatever you want to in favor of the bill.
Okay. Well, this bill really did speak for itself a lot. Me and Izzy are considering writing it. We're considering some of the unsafe circumstances we have in the Everword Alliance, and also I know that
Trust in you.
I'm very aware that there are people throughout realms and animals who are in these unsafe positions, and that's why we created this bill to ensure that everyone throughout the Alliance will have safer conditions. And that is why this bill should pass. I yield my time to. What do I yield?
You can just reserve. Oh yeah, you can yield back to Zarin, and then Zarin, you can say, I reserve the balance of my time.
Yes, I yield my time back to Zarin.
I reserve my such and such whatever.
Okay, the gentleman from Zarin, where did you guys move? Wisconsin?
Yeah.
The gentleman from Wisconsin reserves his time. Is there anyone who wishes to manage time for the side speaking in opposition to this bill? Noel, the chair recognizes Noel to speak for up to 5 minutes in opposition to this bill.
Okay, so then what do I say?
Start by saying, I yield myself as much time as I consume.
Okay, I yield myself as much time as I consume. Okay, first of all, I would like to mention that in the bill, one of the circumstances mentioned was, I believe, the story of Hansel and Gretel in the candy house. And the reason this is not a good example is because the house was most likely protected by spells from natural disasters, and it was not endangered by the children because its purpose was to lure the children and to get them to come in. And so that's not why the house was the house was not endangered by the children. And also, it makes it so that poor people. This bill makes it so that poor people cannot afford a sturdy house. There will be some people who will not be able to afford a house because they cannot financially meet all the requirements, such as a foundation or some of the more sturdy materials. And so that makes it so that these people who can't have to build something less secure overall. And so that's why this isn't that's why this bill should not pass. I yield my time or reserve. I reserve my time.
Yeah, reserve. Perfect. Okay. Great. The gentlewoman from Virginia reserves. The chancellor recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin. So now, Zarin, you can either speak again or yield some time to someone else who wants to speak in favor, which could be Amy again, or if somebody else wants to speak, you should probably give somebody else the turn before you go back to Amy.
Well, I have nothing to say. Does anybody else have something to say? All right. What do I say to give time to Amy?
Well, Ideally, you know how long you're giving to Amy, so maybe you want to ask her real quick how long she wants yielded to her.
Amy, do you want 5 minutes of time?
Maximum 2 minutes.
All right. Now what do I say?
I yield 2 minutes to Amy or to the gentlewoman from Virginia.
I yield 2 minutes of Amy to state her case.
Thank you. Now, do I just start talking?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I would like to respond to the other gentlewoman from Virginia that the case of Hansel and Gretel and the candy house was used an example of an unusual house, but not specifically an unsafe house, so that it could be better understood. Like the variety of houses could be better understood in our bill, and the idea that we're considering all houses within our bill. I would also like to point out about your point about the more impoverished or poor people, that it is that for them to build a house on unsafe foundations and with unsafe materials like this is a threat to their safety, regardless of their financial status. I'd also like to point out that they are not always the ones building these houses. So a lot of times these houses are going to be built by other companies or people and then sold. And our requirements are more specifically referring to ones that are sold and legally inhabited. This does not count shelters. So for it to be a legal house and classified legally as a house in a safe place, a safe dwelling, then it must meet the requirements. Other shelters that might be built by animals or more impoverished people, we are not considered houses in this instance. So it's not a threat to poor people. It's more about what is legally considered a safe house and safe dwelling, and what may be bought and sold as a safe house and dwelling. I yield my time.
The gentlewoman yields, and so now, Zarin, it goes back to you, and you can say, I reserve my time.
I reserve my time.
Okay, the gentleman reserves. The chancellor recognizes the other gentlewoman from Virginia. And so now, Noelle, you can see if somebody else wants to, you get dibs if you, as the time manager, you can speak to it, or you can see if somebody else wants to speak in opposition.
Okay, Deborah, did you want to say anything? Okay, how long do you want?
Like a minute is fine.
All right, I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from North Carolina.
I would first like to speak to the point in the bill that was written that said perishable materials, and mention that in the discussion that we've been holding so far, the category for perishable materials isn't specific, and as far as the definition of perishable, I'd say candy and things such as that would be labeled as perishable materials. Therefore, saying that the house wasn't necessarily said to be unsafe wasn't strictly like deliberately said, but it was still implied through the rest of the bill. I'd also like to point out that the phrasing of unusual houses could imply to several things, and is not nearly specific enough to actually make it into the bill. I'd also like to...
Time has expired. So at this point, if you want, Noelle, you can yield him another 30 seconds or another 15 seconds or something so he can finish his point if you want.
Okay, I'll yield you another 30 seconds.
I'd also like to point out that amongst candy being a perishable material that is unusual, there are also very normal perishable materials used in building, such as wood. Wood is a very common material used in building houses, but is still labeled as a technically perishable material. Perishable materials are usable in houses as long as they are upkept and kept strong and firm. So therefore, I think that section of the bill is not necessarily encapsulating everything that it should. I yield my time.
The gentleman yields. And then Noelle, then you reserve your time.
Well, I can't talk anymore.
You
Oh,
would,
yeah,
you would talk before him and then like just a little blip and then yield your time to him. So save it for the next round. Okay, the gentlewoman reserves. The chancellor recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin. So again, Zarin, you can either talk or call on somebody else to talk. And your team has 2 minutes left.
Amy, would you like to talk?
I would like to talk.
I yield time to Amy. All of the 2 minutes left.
All right. I would like to state in response that if necessary, then amendments can be made for a better definition of non-perishable materials, as well as a statement that includes a clause that includes that the houses may not be built solely from such perishable materials. Like candy, I think it is also very mentionable that candy is such perishable material, and so this is another instance of an unusual house that may be considered unsafe because of this. And I dang it. And I think that so I think that the necessary amendments can be made. So long as they do not change the nature of the bill. I yield my time.
I reserve my time.
And the gentleman reserves. The chancellor recognizes the other gentlewoman from Virginia.
Okay. Does anybody else want to talk? No? Okay. Okay. So speaking more about the specific materials, if we do limit materials, in some cases that would restrict other people from building houses because because they just can't afford it. And there are some people from the forest who in my country, Bayern, there are some from the forest who cannot access very good materials as they're very poor, and we're working on helping them with that. But as of right now, if we restrict their building opportunities, then that would limit them from having a safe shelter. And also, whatever, I reserve my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The chancellor recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin. At this point, you're down to each side having about a minute left. And so you could be thinking in terms of like closing statements. Or, Amy, you mentioned something about things could be amended. It is also an option to, in the middle of discussing and debating this bill, to propose that you make an amendment, and then we would discuss the amendment briefly. So anyway, the chancellor yields or recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin.
I yield any time to Amy.
All right. I would like to state that and revise that this bill does not prevent people from building shelters and safe places. It just prevents them from being legally bought and sold as houses because they are not safe. And so if you're referencing people in your kingdom of Bayern, specifically if you are referencing the Forestborn and their inability to always find material, I would like to point out that the Forestborn more commonly did create shelters rather than houses, and we are not trying to limit the building of shelters or whatever other creations, just the dangers that can be associated with unsafe houses. I would also like to state in conclusion that this bill is for the protection of all of the people and creatures of the Everwood Alliance, and that it will create safer and better housing conditions. I yield my time.
The time has expired. The Chancellor now recognizes the other gentlewoman from Virginia for her remaining time.
Can I say a thing, or can you give me a second to think?
Any seconds to think will come out of your time.
Oh, dang it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Quick question. Does it have to be somebody has time that proposes an amendment, or does it?
Good question. And the answer is no. You could just interrupt and I move that we amend the bill in this way.
Okay, well then I move that we amend the bill and specify more specifically what perishable material is.
Okay, so here's the thing with an amendment, you want to be very specific.
Yeah.
If you're ready to be, you want to be very specific at what words you're adding, what words you're taking away, or what words you're replacing. If you're not ready to be that specific on the amendment and there needs to be more discussion in order to have that wording, then you probably need to send the bill back to committee to be amended there, or to be discussed and amended there. So do you have some wording that you can just propose right off the bat, Denver?
Some wording for how to propose that we reconsider the wording?
Yeah.
And send it back to the thing.
So I'm saying, do you want to just propose an amendment right now that changes the wording just off the cuff?
No, I was just saying that I think that we should send it back and have it revised.
So your motion would be to, I move that we send this bill back to committee for the purpose of amending in this way, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well then I move that we send this bill back to committee to be amended in the way of specifying perishable material and unique building regulations.
It has been moved that the bill be sent back to committee to specify an amendment on building materials. Are there any seconds?
I second.
I second.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this motion? Seeing no opposition, we will vote. All in favor of moving this bill back to committee for the purpose of amending and specifying about building materials, say aye.
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 Say nay. This bill then moves back to, and if I had my paper here, I would tell you what committee, whatever committee it was in the
like
first place.
building and safety committee or something.
Building and safety committee discussed at the next committee meeting. And at that point that we would go into recess or whatever, because we didn't get the bill all the way to a vote, which is perfect. That's exactly something that we would want to have happen. Yes, Amy.
So does that mean that it's just that at this point it's going to be sent back to me and Izzy, and to work with Denver on his necessary amendments?
I think it's.
Go ahead, Denver.
I'm okay. If you're okay me answering to what I understand and then correcting me if I'm incorrect. I think it would be sent back to the committee that originally had it, and they would discuss the specifics of the amendment requested, and then reevaluate it and narrow it down and then send it back to the floor. So it's not killing the bill, it's just getting it reevaluated and amended.
That's right.
So, okay. So who specifically, then the committee write the wording of the bill and
Yes.
write it to the amendment? Okay.
Yeah. So Amy, since you missed last week, we actually took your bill and sent it to committee last week. That did happen. And then it passed through committee, and that's how it was ready to come to the floor today. And so since your bill has been passed by committee, it's kind of more your committee's bill now than it is your bill now. So it's not that you can't be involved in further amending necessarily, but the committee is where it kind of where it belongs, where it goes back to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if we had not decided to send it back to committee, we probably would have gotten it to a vote and then voted to pass this bill or not.
Did we wanna go to a vote just for the sake of practice?
I mean, we can definitely practice it. Although what I would actually propose with this is that this be a live bill that can be in consideration in the assembly at Yes Week. And so the status of this bill, I mean, if you guys want it to be, it could actually be sent back to committee at Yes Week and be discussed further. I mean, we don't have any more workshops, so we won't have any more workshop practices. But I kind of consider any bill writing and practice that we've done on these bills can be used if we want them to at Yes Week.
The process of passing this bill would have gone almost like the amendment thing did. I mean, as far as logistics are concerned in here, it wouldn't have looked a lot different. So
yeah.
You've seen it.
Yep. So we have 3 different bills, those bills that Noelle read to reintroduced to us, that did pass committee last week. So they are still in, as far as I'm concerned, live bills that are able to be considered for at Yes Week. Okay, does anybody, I have a few little comments, but does anybody real quick have any questions about what we just did about that practice? Anything you need reminders on or follow up on? Okay, I just wanted to say, when it actually comes to Yes Week, one thing that has happened the 2 times that we've practiced floor debate here on the workshops is that just a few people end up speaking, and that could totally happen at Yes Week. But I want you guys to remember too, that if you're advocating for or against a bill that you feel strongly about, there's a lot that you can do to get more people behind you and involved in the conversation. So probably ideally would be to have several people in on the debate and ready to discuss from their own viewpoints, either the merits or the demerits of the bill. So you would want to spend some time, if you're the sponsor of the bill or if you have strong feelings about the bill, either for or against, you're going to want to spend some time collaborating and figuring out, maybe the people that were in that committee that passed the bill have something they want to say. So you're going to want to work together. That time manager person wants to build a group of people that can discuss. We haven't really had the opportunity to flesh that out here, but that would be the ideal thing at Yes Week. And part of that too is so that it's not like most of you are just sitting there watching all the time while everyone debates. Of course, you don't have to say anything or debate, but it would be ideal to get a lot of people involved in the conversation. And I have a feeling that some of these bills are going to be things that a lot of you get excited and passionate about. So just feel free to speak up about it. Denver, did you have a question?
Well, no, I was just gonna say that I think it'll be a lot easier actually at Yes Week, because we'll be able to discuss outside of actual meetings where we haven't really specifically been able to do that during this.
Exactly. I agree. And the time constraints won't be as much. I did also want to talk about one other thing about how what we've done here in the workshop actually translates. The wording is going to be the same, except if I really was there, I would have called Denver, instead of the gentleman from North Carolina, I would have called him the gentle monkey from, what realm are you from, Denver?
It's like I don't remember, from Forge.
Fable Forge.
Fable Forge, that's the one.
So we would have called Denver the gentle monkey from Fable Forge. People who are playing animals, they'll be the gentle whatever animal, like Finn being Puss in Boots, she'll be the gentle cat from whatever her realm is. The rest of you who are playing humans will still be gentlemen and gentlewomen, but you'll be from your realm rather than from the actual state that you live in. I just didn't know your realms off the top of my head, but you will at Yes Week have little placards with your character names and your realms on them. And so everyone will be able to know who you are. And with that, that's all I had for today. So this is like your last workshop chance for any last questions or comments in preparation for the assembly at Yes Week. Anyone? Okay, seeing no questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
It has been moved that we adjourn the meeting. Are there any seconds?
I second.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
In the eyes of
Womp
the
womp.
chancellor, the ayes have it. And this meeting is now adjourned until June, 4th at sometime in the morning when the assembly will be called back to order. Thank you everybody for attending our workshops. It was great to have this experience with you guys. And I hope you have a blast at Yes Week.
Thank you all. It was wonderful.
Thanks, Bonnie. You're very helpful.
Remember to vote.
Bye.
Bye.
So, Catherine or Bonnie, I missed this. I had stuff going on here. We're canceling the 6th one.